They say the one thing in life you can't buy is time. But would you swap a Ferrari for it? Now, I'm not talking about turning back the years, I'm talking about timepieces. So this is the story about how I nearly swapped a Ferrari for a watch. This story comes to life in November of 2024, when this little red Ferrari was up for sale. This car had been up for sale for about 1 or 2 months. I'd had a few interested buyers or parties, but they never came through. One most notably, well, bought the car and then disappeared on the finance company. So it left me in a position where I really just wanted out of the car. I was going into winter, it was my only car at the time, and to be honest, I was pretty frustrated in the ownership journey. And there's a lot of things to go about that. There is also a video which will be linked in the description, which explains a lot more about that. A 5-figure sum bill, to be precise. And well, it left me in a position where I wanted out the car, and I was given an opportunity to swap it for a watch. Now, this watch was something way more special than this. In the world of watches, we all know the big names, be that Rolex, could be Patek Philippe, Audemars Piguet, but what about the boutique brands, the ones from Switzerland that are so piece unique and so intricate that hopefully they're worth a significant amount of money? That opens up my story with a Gérard Perregaux annual calendar minute repeater. Now, this watch was one of 2 in the world. It was number 2, and they actually believe that number 1 was still owned by the factory. So in my eyes, that's a 1 of 1, right? This watch actually shared one similarity with this car, and it was the age. It was a 1999 watch. Apparently, they were created in 2s, but they were done in multiple different metals. So the one I was looking at was white gold. They also did a rose gold and a yellow gold variant of this watch. Well, the interesting thing about this was always going to be price. The thing with a Ferrari is it's very much got an intrinsic value. You go on the market and you look for a red coupe manual, and well, it gives you a very good idea of what these things sell for. The issue is when you have a 1 of 1 or a 1 of 2, is there's no market data on this. So it becomes potentially very risky, but I very much thought this could be my Del Boy moment. So the idea was, potentially, swap the Ferrari straight for the watch and sell the watch, whether that was at auction or privately, for a very large sum of money. So let's go over the numbers. So I've always been very honest on this channel about prices, and well, the Ferrari 360 was up for £55,000. It was having some work done, and it was going to go straight to a new owner for a watch. The watch in question, obviously, is one of those things where it's very difficult to price. So obviously I contacted the likes of auction houses such as Christie's, Bonhams, and a few others to get an indication of price. And I think even they struggled because I had no response from 2 of them, and one response which I thought was extremely low. I think they looked at a normal Richfield, which is kind of the product lineup, and thought that this was just something run-of-the-mill. I might be wrong, but I feel like it was just one of those elements where they hadn't quite understood what the product was and how important it was. It's also a really cool story about where this watch came from. It was bought from a London jeweller called Marcus Margulies, and supposedly he was the guy that used to sell to the Sultan of Brunei's uncle. And well, depending on how things were going on the day, he'd either buy all the product or none at all. So this obviously was one of the watches he didn't want on the day. And well, the chances that I was then going to own that was something incredible. This watch was going to be listed for £155,000 on Chrono24. And the idea was to just leave it and sit there. I mean, no one could get another one. If they really wanted this watch in their collection, they were going to have to pay for it. So my intention was very much just sit pretty, go without a Ferrari for a little while, and, well, see if I could make a lot of money. The issue, though, was the fact that this car was off for routine maintenance. And, well, there wasn't really anything routine about it. We ended up having some serious issues with the car and its ABS module, which meant that basically I was globe-trotting trying to find a part, which I couldn't get because Ferrari don't make it anymore, and it jeopardized the deal. So, in theory, I lost out on a lot of money, but I'm still left with a Ferrari. And well, that opens up the question, does it make more sense to keep something that has tangible market value and that is always going to be worth what it's worth? Or do you take the risk? Do you go for that one golden egg that could take you somewhere really well, or it could flop? So let me know in the comments, but that is the story about how I nearly swapped my Ferrari for a watch. So I hope you enjoyed, and well, if you do want to trade me something for my car, let me know in the comments. Please like and subscribe. I'll see you all in the next video, and well, bye-bye.